this is JD with a new edition of Weekly News Pills, a bouquet of handpicked events in last 7 days from across the planet. I request you to like and share these weekly news stories, subscribe to my channel, and put in your valuable comments. Your comments will be a guiding light in my endeavor. News Pill 1. Tesla zooms past $1 trillion market cap on bet that the EV future is now.
Tesla is riding high and crossed a $1 trillion stock market valuation for the first time in the company's history on Monday as the electric car maker received its biggest order ever. The struggling rental car agency Hertz announced it will buy 100,000 electric rental cars from Elon Musk. Interim Hertz CEO Mark Fields told Reuters in an interview that the order of mostly Model 3 vehicles should be delivered by the end of next year, and the Tesla car should start to be available for rental in November 2022, with access to Tesla's supercharging stations throughout Europe and the U.S. The price for the cheapest Tesla Model 3 starts at about $44,000, which would make this order worth about $4.4 billion if the entire order is filled with Model 3s. Fields declined to say how much Hertz was paying for the order. Hertz also plans to install thousands of chargers throughout its network.
Tesla Inc. surpassed $1 trillion in market value on Monday after landing its biggest ever order from rental car company Hertz, a deal that reinforced the electric car leader's ambitions to top the entire auto industry in sales over the next decade. Tesla shares surged as much as 14.9% to $1045.02, making it the world's most valuable automaker according to Reuters calculations based on its latest filing. Tesla is the first car maker to join the elite club of trillion-dollar companies that includes Apple Inc., Amazon Inc., Microsoft Corporation, and Alphabet Inc. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk has set an annual sales growth target of 50% on average, eventually reaching 20 million vehicles a year. That would be more than twice the volume of current sales leaders Volkswagen AG and Toyota Motor Corporation. Consumer demand for electric vehicles is turning a corner in some major markets. The Tesla Model 3 was the best-selling vehicle of any kind in Europe last month. Consulting firm Chateau Dynamics reported Monday. The Hertz order puts an exclamation point under guidance for 50% plus growth in deliveries, stressing the fact that EVs are going mainstream. Tesla now faces the daunting day-to-day challenge of becoming a high-volume automaker growing at a rate not seen since the early 1900s when demand exploded for Henry Ford's Model T. Tesla is coping with an order backlog for its vehicles and extended supply chain disruptions. Investors and analysts for now are looking past the near-term challenge. Morgan Stanley boosted its Tesla price target by 33% to $1,200 as the brokerage expects the electric car maker to surpass 8 million deliveries in 2030. Newspill 2. The bumpy road to India's electric car dreams. India sold more electric vehicles in September than any month previously and are already nearing the previous year's total.
So what is India's strategy? What are its plans for a future that's driven by electric vehicles and fueled by lithium? India has set its goals for itself and vis-a-vis the world. The world over, more than 2 million electric vehicles were sold in 2019. That number is only going to go up. India wants to make that transition too. One, because that is the future, and two, because we need cleaner air in India. The government has been at it. In 2019, India announced a tax cut to encourage people to buy electric vehicles or EVs. The result was this: sales grew by 20%. The total number of EVs sold in 2019 was 1.56 lakh. Of these, 1.52 lakh were two-wheelers, 3,400 were electric cars, and there were 600 electric buses that were sold in India. Of course, India has a long way to go. To a defining moment for electric vehicles or EVs in India, most major automobile players are launching electric vehicle models this year. Experts say the biggest market is still for two-wheelers. India aims to increase the number of EVs by 30% by the end of this decade. So there's a plan in place.
But it's only a glimmer. Electric vehicle sales this financial year account for only 1.66% of India's 20 million automobile sales. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government is trying to change that with the US dollar 3.5 billion or pound 2.5 billion scheme to boost manufacturing. Electric vehicles will also cut emissions as pressure ratchets up for India. The electric alternative is also growing in appeal as global oil prices surge, taking India's fuel import bill to a staggering US dollars 24.7 billion. It's part climate change and part economics. But is India ready for what is arguably the biggest shakeup in the auto industry since its birth more than a century ago? Ola Electric recently announced a snazzy US dollars 320 million scooter factory in India that plans to make 10 million electric two-wheelers every year, about 15% of the world's production. Hero Electric, India's biggest manufacturer of battery-powered scooters, has called for sales of gasoline-powered two-wheelers to stop by 2027. India's current plan is to have 30% of private cars, 70% of commercial vehicles, 40% of buses, and 80% of two and three-wheelers go electric by 2030. The good news is two and three-wheelers are well on their way to that target. The reality appears to be less clear for electric cars, which account for less than 4% of India's car sales this financial year. The issue is to do with supply rather than demand. The challenges range from too few charging stations. India has less than 2,000 compared to some 900,000 in China, to battery disposal, to resale value. India has a massive second-hand market for cars. And then there is the cost. The average price of a car in India is around 700,000 rupees. The cheapest electric car available starts at 1.2 million rupees. Tata Motors, India's biggest electric car maker, just announced a US dollar 2 billion investment in electric vehicles. Tesla is slated to enter the Indian market soon, and more foreign firms may arrive when the Indian market for electric cars expands. Ultimately, firms have to create a market for electric vehicles. The electric vehicle world is quite different. The entire ecosystem has to collaborate. Newspill 3. Australia wants Facebook to seek parental consent for kids.
Now, Alexandra, you're big on social media. It's been revealed that Facebook has conducted extensive research into how it could better appeal to children under the age of 13. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, Facebook wanted to steer more children towards their Messenger Kids thing or whatever, and it referred to boys and girls as valuable but untapped audience. Is this a bit off, or is this acceptable?
Oh, look, everybody is a product on Facebook and children are a gold mine. We're talking about kids 0 to 4 that they're targeting. And look, don't get me wrong, they've always advertised to kids. I mean, remember all the big toy crazes that go through? But usually there's a parent with a credit card at the other end who's sort of controlling what's going on. In this case, Facebook said it had a moral duty to investigate this new audience. Well, no, it didn't. It had a financial interest in these kids, and it wants to control their social ideas and eventually their political leanings, and it does it by selling to them.
Australia plans to crack down on online advertisers targeting children by making social media platforms seek parental consent for users younger than 16 years old to join or face fines of 10 million Australian dollars under a draft law released Monday. The landmark legislation would protect Australians online and ensure that Australia's privacy laws are appropriate in the digital age, a government statement said. Social media platforms would require to take all reasonable steps to verify their users' age under a binding code for social media services. Data brokers and other large online platforms operating in Australia. The platforms would also have to give primary consideration to the best interest of children when handling their personal information, the draft legislation states. The code would also require platforms to obtain parental consent for users under the age of 16. Australia has been a prominent voice in calling for international regulation of the internet. It passed laws this year that oblige Google and Facebook to pay for journalism. Australia also defied the tech companies by creating a law that could imprison social media executives if their platforms stream violent images. That is all for today. Thank you and goodbye for now. Stay blessed. See you in my next weekly episode.